Hello everyone, this is Belle Époque-inspired to bring you a review for Liza P.
Close your eyes, come to me, feel alright. Just dance with me all through the night, turn it out, close to you. I feel good, 'cause I just know feeling of you. Give it to me, baby. Feel alright. I feel good. Just want you to step with me, dance with me, here with me, feel alright. I feel good on you, alright.
Once in a while, a game comes along and knocks your teeth in. And this game knocked my teeth in over and over and over again. Liza P was a great game that caught my eye way back when it was first announced. Now that I finally got my hands on it, I became a glutton for punishment with how brutally and yet overwhelmingly addicting this game was. Round 8 knew exactly what they were creating here and delivered with butterflies. This is the kind of game that stays with you long after you defeat the last boss. Round 8 centered the game around a silent protagonist who is led off a train into the broken city known as Krat. You have no idea what is going on, but the world is filled with puppets and zombies that have gone crazy and murderous against anyone who comes within sight. As you travel from one area to the next, you become a detective as clues and dialogue let you in on the mystery surrounding Krat and what led to its downfall. It's a story that grips you, even when not a single word is uttered by your character. You observe all the interactions that come from characters that you meet along the way. Some characters upgrade your weapons like Eugenie, while others are renowned billionaires and inventors named Vingini who provides buffs that help you along your perilous journey across Krat. This game thrives on visual storytelling and unfolds the deeper you go into Krat. You have small side missions along your journey, like bringing a lady her baby or delivering some wine. All pieces of a large puzzle that slowly come together that provide items to help you along your journey if you complete the side quests. I enjoyed every second of the story, which is told very well. It never felt too ambiguous to follow along with, and I understood everything as it was told and discovered along my journey. The gameplay of Liza P will hit or miss depending on how experienced you are with Soulslikes. I've seen even veteran Soul players struggle on this game with how unique the gameplay is from most Soulslikes. It borrows some inspiration from Sekiro with parry mechanic or perfect guard. If you block a hit, you lose some of your health. But if you are aggressive enough, you can gain your health back as long as you don't take a full hit. But if you time it right, you perform a perfect guard, which can break an enemy's posture and leave them open for a fatal attack. If performed consecutively. Perform a perfect guard enough times, you can even break most bosses and enemies' weapons. Gameplay felt solid. Liza P has tight controls. You do have to run before you jump, which could result in you missing a ledge if you don't time it. Dodges felt responsive with its small window of iframes. One thing I did notice about Liza P, enemies throughout the game have insane tracking across the entire game. It can feel too laser focused at times, but I chalked it up to a design mechanic built around the perfect guard system. So you have to be face to face with a boss. My only complaint is how committed you have to be to attack animations, as the recovery between attack animations feel like an eternity, so you have to make every attack count. Liza P is full of all kinds of items that you can either consume or throw at enemies. I have to praise Studio 8 for giving your character a throwing arm. He can chuck throwables at far distances with great accuracy. It's refreshing not having to aim your throws. Each consumable has its own effect, some protecting your ergo upon death, while others buff your character and get rid of status effects like corruption, decay, electric shock, overheat, and freeze, which can hurt or impede your character depending on what he gets. Everything had a use, even though I hardly ever used the golden coin fruit. Round 8 made a staggering number of weapons in Liza P for you to play with. Not only do you have special variety of weapons you collect from bosses, but you have also normal type weapons, all with their own animations. The best part with only normal weapons, you can swap their handles, giving you a new moveset depending on what handle you swap to what blade. It has a lot of possibilities to give a diverse playstyle to anyone. You can also upgrade your weapon to their maximum with Ergo. My only gripe with the upgrade system with so many weapons is that there are too few upgrade materials for each weapon, requiring you to play the game multiple times if you want to level up every weapon. The weapon also comes with Fable Arts, a special move causing severe damage to bosses or enemies if you want to stack on extra damage or extend a combo. Rounded also gives you Legion Arms, a mechanical left arm that has multiple different attachments. Some shoot flames, while others shock enemies, and the variety changes the game when upgrading them, giving them more power or different movesets depending on the Legion Arm. It's an excellent addition to the game, giving you an edge to get that one last bit of damage on enemies or bosses. With Ergo being your main currency, it is also your experience points. Depending on how you allocate them, you have only 6 places to put them: Vitality, Vigor, Capacity, Motivity, Technique, and Advance. Depending on the level, it modifies your character to have more health, stamina, carrying capacity, and damage. Another addition Studio 8 added is a P organ, a skill tree that levels up with a rare item called Quartz. With each one added, you can unlock a certain parameter in the P organ and an attribute based on 4 different lists called Attack, Survival, Ability, and Item Type abilities that change how your character performs in the game. It's an excellent system and makes you think of where to allocate your quartz. Lies of P should be renamed to Lies of Fashion because throughout the game, you gather all kinds of clothing and masks to wear, and underneath are defense parts that act as armor for your character, making him tougher the farther you go into craft. An extra addition is amulets. Much like a ring in Dark Souls, these add extra buffs to your character, allowing your stamina to recover faster, more health, higher weight capacity, and other great buffs that add to your stats so you can survive all of craft. It's a great addition and adds more variety. For any Soulslike, the bosses are the main attraction. For anything in this category, Round 8 did an amazing job designing and making each one of these bosses. Nothing ever felt repetitive, and each one hits harder than the last. All with their own unique movesets that keep you on your toes and make you understand Perfect Guard. You can roll through most bosses' attacks, but the game demands you master Perfect Guard to break the posture of these bosses. Some of these bosses are downright oppressive, but a blast to fight. You have to learn each boss's animations with an attack pattern that is quite different from Sekiro's known rhythm-based combat. There is rhythm in Lies of P, but I wouldn't rely on it. These animations are incredibly varied and can even extend on you, changing the dynamic of each combo. You can never get too comfortable with any boss. The minute you think you understand an attack chain, the boss will extend it or change the way it is executed, forcing you to pay closer attention. The tracking for each boss is crazy, and the holds for some of these bosses are even more insane. The last 3 bosses in the main game have such long attack chains and even longer holds that caught me off guard several times, trying to anticipate when they were going to strike. A tip that I learned throughout my playthrough of Lies of P that the game doesn't tell you is that when the enemy glows red, you can actually parry those attacks, allowing you to survive what would normally take a chunk off your health bar. It adds new dynamics to the fights. If you manage to parry a fury attack, you affect the boss's stagger bar. And if you miss, you could die depending on the severity of the attack, which gives this game a great risk and reward feeling the more you try to parry those fury attacks. Round 8 knew exactly what they were doing with the combat, especially when it came to the bosses. Even regular enemies are not to be underestimated, as they can easily kill you if you do not pay them enough attention. But the greatest boss in Lies of P is the wall, which deflects all your attacks every time you hit it. Now let's talk about the DLC Overture. Overture is a DLC that takes you back in time to when crap was young, but things are still wild and untamed. You are introduced to your own past and what happened to you, while also meeting legendary stalker Leia Florence, an old master who trained you and a friend named Romeo. Overture brings you deep within this story to reunite with Leia and save Romeo from an absolute ruthless serial killer named Arlecchino. The DLC refines many things from the base game. It gives you more weapons to play with and customize to your own expense. It gives you new friends that you meet along the way, while also uncovering many hidden secrets not found in the base game. It's a great DLC that even improves on the NPC fights, making them more impactful than just another NPC of the week. One thing that really stood out to me about Overture is how impressive the story really was. I felt engaged the entire time. The bosses were incredibly hard, and it took me dozens of tries to defeat them. They all each added their own unique flair to the story and difficulty, while the story adds this sense of urgency, something the base game was lacking for me. The entire time you go through Overture, you are trying to catch up to Leia, while also trying to save Romeo, making the stakes higher than the base game for me. The base game is a great game by itself, but Overture truly adds to the story and makes each action or interaction more meaningful. Mostly because you are the one influencing the past and adding a layer to the game when you weren't there. creating a meaningful impact that makes the ending of Overture much more heartbreaking by the end. Once you leave the past, I felt I left a piece of myself with Leia and the fight we took on together. Lies P is arguably the greatest, if not the pinnacle of what Soulslike need to be like. Grounded had incredible vision when creating this game. They studied From Software well and made a game that stands out on its own and even improves on many aspects that Soulslike are known for. The story was amazing and drew me in, and the DLC improved on the story and made me feel part of the world. The weapons are diverse and fun to play with, and the bosses were their own challenge, while also being a blast to fight as you go down the roster of 35 bosses, including the DLC. The amount of content here is why I love Soulslike games like this. It makes me look forward to whatever round 8 cooks up next. Never has a game filled me with so much awe and sorrow before the deeper you go throughout this world. I started out nervous of the type perfect guard window and ended up being starstruck by the presentation and the artistry. The soundtrack or records you find absolutely nail the point home of how great this game is. This soundtrack rivals Stellar Blade's soundtrack, and Stellar Blade has an amazing soundtrack. I could guess about this game for ages, and I will always remember Liza P for the lasting impression it gave me. I'll always remember Leia, and I will always tell my truth and lies. That's why, in my final score, I'm giving Liza P the highest 9 out of 10 red noses I can give, while Overture received a perfect 10 out of 10 shot puts. Both are amazing games. The base game alone is nearly perfect, but Overture amazed me with every set piece till the curtain closed. Thank you for hearing me ramble, and thank you for clicking on my video. Subscribe for more content, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye!